on, guys? It's Nick from Surfcasting the Island, and today I'm going to be talking about the Staal VR series compared to the Staal VS series and my personal experiences with these reels, and where I use them, where I recommend them in terms of price, budget, and whatnot. And if you're going to be fishing on the open beach and wherever it is you're going to be fishing, I'm going to tell you which ones I would prefer and why. So as a whole, between the VS and VR series, there are many similarities in terms of the aesthetics and the presentation of the reel. So the first reel I'm going to show you to the left of me, this is a Staal VR 150. They only come in the nickel or chrome color. They don't come in black, with the exception of the VR 50 that comes in black. Very nice reel. I love it. I've had this reel for about 1.5 years now. One thing about Staal, it makes them so reliable, is it's a full aluminum body. If you could see here, very industrial looking, very bare bones, and that's what it's about. It's all about durability when it comes to Staal. As you guys can see, it's the whole spool is ported, and what I mean by ported is it's drilled out. You can see here on the bottom of the spool and on top where the drag knob is. I believe this reel has a 4.75 to 1 gear ratio. Perfect for the surf, get a lot of torque. And I believe it has a drag output of 35 pounds, which is tremendous. Very powerful reel. The only thing that's not aluminum on the reel is the Delrin handle. I like it. It's very lightweight. It kind of takes a tad more weight off the reel, and that's the reason why it's also ported, to take weight off the reel. My personal experience is the VR. I've used them in the back bays, inlets, and all the way into the surf. And the thing I can tell you guys is, yes, they're good in terms of being sealed, but they're not fully sealed. So the reason why I say this reel isn't fully sealed is because, yes, it could take a soak, but you cannot, or at least I don't recommend, to turn the handle underwater like you would, as I would get into a VS. And the reason being is the independent variable that remains similar between these two reels is I've tested them in the harshest of conditions, which would be the open beach, taking waves up over your chest, up over your head. You're not really going to have that type of problem per se if you're fishing an inlet or you're fishing the back bay, which also brings me to my second point about expanding on the ported reel, is it also helps with draining. In addition to less weight and whatnot. So yeah, that's my experience. So I would really recommend this reel, and light to moderate at most for surf fishing conditions. But something that's great about the VRs is they come with a bail as well, as opposed to the VS series, which is strictly bailless. So if you're someone that is not really into the bailless application, go with a VR. Comes with the bail. If you want to take it off, it comes off with the bailless kit. Another upside to the VRs is their price point as opposed to a VS. The price point is in the $5 to $5.50 range for a VR, and yeah, that's my outlook on this reel, and I love it personally. I've caught plenty of big fish, but this exact reel covers me for the majority of the local South Shore. And shortly I'll be getting into the VS. So the second reel to my right is a VS 200. This was actually my very first Staal when I was brought up into the surf casting game. A lot of people tell me that, or through my friends, they recommended that the VS 200 is the golden standard of all Staals. Everyone has one pretty much that's serious into the game. And I'll just go over the differences. So obviously color-wise, this is black. They also come in silver, and the older models came in gold, but now they discontinued the gold. Now it's just black and silver from the VS 100 all the way up to the 275. So in terms of the difference between this and the VR, right away as well, is this is a skirted spool. What I mean by skirted spool is when you retrieve, the spool moves in an upwards and downwards motion in the cup, as you guys can see there. This is the cup of the spool that's ported as well as the top where the drag knob is, similar to the VR. I believe that the drag output on a VS is up to 42 pounds of drag, which is massive. You're not going to need more than that for striper fishing. I know maybe if you're tarpon fishing or shark fishing, but there's other reels that, I'm not going to get into this video, that would be ideal for those situations. What else do we have here? So like I said, it comes bailless. All VSs come bailless. One of the downsides I found with VSs is the drag output isn't as smooth as a VR. It's a lot more rough. The drag doesn't slip per se, but it can get a little catchy as opposed to a VR. Whoever's used both of these reels, some people may have an opposing opinion, but that was just my findings. The reason I believe is because this reel is designed to be turned underwater, and that's one of the upsides of the reel. Very little water is going to get it in this reel, but over time it will. From experience, I didn't open this reel up for 2-3 years. I don't know if that's recommended or not, but that was just the way I went about it. In my opinion, I send my reels in for service every year now, but you can get away with a handful of seasons if you really wanted to of not opening this reel up. It has a 4.5 to 1 gear ratio as opposed to the 4.75, so they're very similar in terms of getting a lot of power and torque. This reel I typically use now for bigger plugs when I'm fishing on my 10.5 foot stick, bigger fish are around, and for darters, bottle plugs and whatnot. The VR 150, it covers me for lighter applications. Although you can throw bigger plugs on them, especially on the bigger VRs, but this is just what my setups are. This is more for my 9.5 footer. It's all personal preference, what I say might not be what someone else says, so I also respect other people's opinions in that regard. But again, yeah, very, very industrial looking reel. Bare bones, has all metal. It's a fully aluminum body. It doesn't have a Delrin handle. Comes with a full aluminum knob as well. But yeah, I've had this reel for about 4 going on 5 years now, and they've just hold up great. Very little complaints. I mean, you're gonna have to service these reels regardless of the way you look at it. In terms of regardless of how you fish, how much you fish, they're just eventually gonna need that service. But this pretty much concludes how I would use these reels and why. I believe the price point on this is $700 to $800 range as opposed to $500, so that's another thing to take into consideration is where you want your budget to be and why. But yeah, that pretty much deciphers between if you really want to go hardcore in the surf and if you just want to lighten things up and use in calm to moderate conditions as you would see in the VR. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm going to conclude and say that at this point I pretty much only use exclusively Van Staals. I live and die by them in the surf. They're my tools that I use to target the striped bass, and that's as simple as that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. So please like, comment, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram at surfcasting_the island. Thank you. Have a nice day, guys.